Please note, this session is being recorded.
We got Chris Sauber on, we've got Sherry, we've got George, we've got Rodney. George, CRC Academy. Monica, I can introduce you because if you're a healthcare worker, you don't want to miss out on that opportunity to get real industry experience. So yeah, what's everyone doing? Chris, are you capable of appearing on camera, or you rather let me fix
When I'm
my
done eating
webcam.
something here, I'm eating my lunch, so when I'm done with that, I'll put my camera on. How about that?
Hey, join me, man. Well, I just had lunch, but I'm having a nice decaf to keep my blood pressure low. So what's everybody up to? We just got off the phone with a patient recruiter. It's interesting to how patient recruitment has always been the issue in research. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts in clinical trials. We all know that if we're in the space. Um, is my face still frozen, Chris? Let me know. Let me know in the comments, guys. But there's a lot of moving parts, as you all know, which is why there's a lot of specialization going on in clinical research. But if you had to put your finger on the rate determining step, like the biggest inefficiency in research, has always been patient recruitment, lack of patient accrual, slow patient accrual rates. We've never heard a year in the history of clinical research where the stat was we've had more patients than we needed in clinical research. It's never happened. Matter of fact, we are so far behind most years, and studies are just increasing. There's more studies, and there's just we can't keep up. There's not enough patients. There's not enough interested patients joining studies. We need more patients, and it's not always about appealing to their altruism. I mean, yes, that's fine, but patients want to look for solutions. They want better treatments. We need to teach them, especially in oncology. Like you're doing a study because what we're experimenting is thought to be maybe better than what you're currently taking. This is why cancer studies probably do the best as far as accrual is concerned, because that conversation is probably most obvious between clinician and patient. But it should apply to other indications as well. I mean, the only one that doesn't apply to is the phase 1 healthy volunteer studies, where, as Sherry mentioned, I believe yesterday or 2 days ago, bleed and feed, right? That's the only one where really the only benefit for the patient is getting paid. But everything else, every indication, every study that is treating or targeting a therapeutic indication, there should be a reason for the patient to want to do that study besides just altruism. And a lot of these nonprofits and a lot of these community-based clinics are starting to see that. Hey, and I think it starts with educating the clinician, because you can go blue in the face trying to educate a patient, and by the way, a patient that's not your patient, to do a study. But then they're going to go ask their clinician about joining your study that you just explained to them for an hour, and the clinician, if they don't know what research is, or they're not involved in the study, they're going to be neutral at best. Usually they're going to tell the patient not to do that because it's their patient. They want to be more conservative. If they're not involved in the study, in their mind they can't control what's going to happen to the patient. So it's like this weird psychology games you have to play. But a lot of these community clinics are starting to figure out, hey, we just need to leverage. We need to play JiuJitsu with our, which is to use leverage for the situation. Hey, there's Chris. We need to have you sit on that swinging chair.
That's not gonna happen.
You look so relaxed.
Yeah,
I don't know where I was going with this, but yeah, hopefully it makes sense to you guys out there. Like it's fine to be altruistic and to appeal For the last 2 decades, the industry has appealed to patients to be altruistic. That's fine, but really what we should be doing is educating the clinicians on the latest treatments, the latest studies. Most clinicians don't follow clinical trials. They don't know what's new until it's published in JAMA, or they go to a conference, if they go to one of their therapeutic indication conferences,
Or
where
a pharmacy
then
rep stops by.
what's that?
Or a pharmacy rep stops by.
Even worse. Yes, but that's really the reality of like your average Joe physician. So if we want more patients enrolled and involved in clinical research, altruism's only going to get you so far, right? Like, you need to appeal to first the clinician, educate them. Hey, this is a new study. Would you actually like to be a part of the study? You can be a sub-investigator with us. If you like it, I can teach you to be a principal investigator. This is what Chris and I have been building our business on for the last 10 years. So, opportunity for anyone out there. Educate physicians in your community about research, and eventually the conversation's going to come, well, you need this thing called the study coordinator. And if you're trying to break into the industry, and hopefully you took the CRC Academy, or at least read our book, or at least watched the 5-hour YouTube video, you're going to know a little bit more than any of his staff members what it means to be a coordinator. And now you just basically created your own opportunity. But you got to educate yourself first. You've got to go out and find the physicians in your community that are not doing research, or maybe they did research a long time ago or recently, but quit because they didn't have the support staff, right? And that's your goal. That should be your goal, is to go in there and say, hey, I am the solution to your clinical research problems. I am the solution. Who can say that? I am the solution. Very engaged audience today. Where's Monica? We need Monica on here. I invited Darshan. I invited Andrew. I don't know. Yeah, Darshan said he's going to come on because who doesn't want a pharmacist and an attorney talking to us at the same time? A pharmacist and an attorney.
And the attorney specializing in research.
Well, he would tell you, I don't specialize in research.
Yeah, but he
practice in research.
Exactly.
Exactly. But if he was on here, he would correct you, as lawyers do.
And he'd be wrong.
That's right. That's right. But Sherry, in your experiences, I don't know if you get hit up on LinkedIn all the time, but I get hit up all the time from people that want to break in to the industry. Like, I'm not talking doctors. I'm talking like people that want to be coordinators or CRAs. And it's almost like they're relying on the strategy of hope.
Yeah.
I hope that if I email Sherry, I hope she has a good day today and that she gives me a chance. But nobody approaches it from very few do, and by the way, these are the ones that are successful, approach it from the perspective of, I want to solve problems. Let me first learn what these people's problems are. We're just telling you what the problems are. Patient recruitment. Go figure that out. You can name your job in research.
I had a talk this morning with a site that I've worked with before in the past, and they're struggling, and the patient recruitment is a problem, but it's stemming from the ridiculous inclusion exclusion criteria that some of the sponsors are initiating in the protocols. I mean, I stumble with it a lot in oncology, because if you have these end-stage patients that have been beat up over several years with standard of care medicine, and now you're putting in there an ECOG of 0 to 1, that's the elusive pink elephant. You're not going to find a stage 4, 3-year treated oncology patient that's got a performance status of 90.
You're talking about the ECOG scale, right? 0 to 4? And then they usually put 0 or 1 on the... That's like the most common value I see too when I monitor 0 and 1, and I'm always like, okay, stage 4, interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous that you can't find these patients, and the investigators are struggling to put these patients on because it's their, what I refer to as kitchen sink therapy. We've given them everything else. Now we're just going to throw the kitchen sink and everything else we can find at them to give them hope. And they're like, this patient would probably benefit from this. But they're out of breath walking up and down 2 flights, 2 steps going in and out of their house, or they need help with their ADLs.
Sounds like me and Chris. Sounds like me and Chris when we're climbing 6 flights of stairs to go monitor one of our PIs.
Yeah, I know. I just had that in San Francisco. I was like ready to kill somebody. Elevator kept breaking.
Well, this was like right when coronavirus started, and I was trying to avoid the elevators to not touch buttons and stuff, and not to be near people. So I took the stairs, and I realized how out of shape I was. So I started running. Again, guys. Feeling good too.
But so that I think is a hindrance in enrollment overall. The other thing is, we talked yesterday about the placement of research centers, and I think that doctors who are not in research are hesitant to refer their patients to clinical trials because it has the potential for them to lose them in their patient database.
Of course.
Why are they going to come back to their primary care physician if the guy that they're going to go see with the study can do the same thing for them and give them the clinical therapy that's available? So open up more clinics, get these naive doctors, because I know every single one of them in med school has been a sub-I on somebody's protocol. Dig that stuff up or revamp their CVs and get them out there.
I couldn't agree more. I think we are going about it the same exact way. I mean, I'm glad there's other people that feel the same way about this whole research naive physician thing, because and why? I mean, you've been in this industry longer. Like, why is it that pharma, they need? I mean, I think I know the answer is liability, but why do they know that they need patients, but then they don't want to let research naive physicians have a chance? And lately, they've been allowing more because they have no choice.
Well, they don't have a choice, and after this, there isn't an option. I mean, I just read an article today about absolute standstill in clinical trials, and especially oncology, where people were waiting for results to get on to oncology studies, and then called to make their appointments, and devastated because the study's been put on hold because they're not taking any new patients. So now this patient's life is at jeopardy. They're going to progress because they're not getting anything. And to me, it comes down to, and I don't mean to offend you as a man, but it's the good old boy network. Such and so has 657,000 published articles. We need to have him on our study.
Yeah, KOL. The KOL, the bane of most CRA's existence.
They're the worst producing sites out there.
Agreed. Couldn't agree more. I mean, I am on a study where there's a sub-I KOL, but they're pretty good. But yes, I've heard like horror story. I have not been involved with a KOL that has been bad, but I've only been involved with probably one KOL. Thankfully, another KOL is our PI. Chris knows who I'm talking about. For psychiatry, he gets just about every study that we apply for and helps with almost zero recruitment. So it falls down to Monica.
Yeah, in oncology, though, I think you see it much more than you do in non-oncology studies, with the KOL being, so crucial. And, for 20 years, I've argued with them, and the medical monitors, why are you bothering? You're not getting the data.
Right.
And the data you get is subpar.
And they know, KOLs know, hey, I'm, the way they look at it is, hey, I'm doing you guys a favor by being in this study. So how dare you tell me what I'm doing is wrong, and how dare you ask me to do more things than I'm already doing? That's
You
like
must,
legit attitude.
you must have been in some meetings without my knowledge when I met with some of my PIs that were KOLs.
I've been in my own meetings. I've seen those things.
Oh my gosh. And it's the restraint that it takes not to jump up and just like, did you not read the protocol? We actually had a whole study back in 20 years ago in CD positive Hodgkin's lymphoma, and it was in a KOL in Germany. And we went in, and they were giving steroids constantly. And they were like, oh, we need to get out there. They're having such good results. Go out and audit the site. And I was like, none of them are responders. They're all on like 40 milligrams of dexamethasone every day. And they're like, what? And I said, yeah, in their world, it's standard of care that every oncology patient is treated with steroids. So, it just blew the results out of the water. What looked to be promising with multiple responders was, pseudo response from the steroids.
Yep.
There goes 18 million.
Yes, and I don't think I think KOLs are used now just because it looks good to other doctors. I think who they want to get on the study. A lot of times these KOLs are the heroes of these other doctors.
Yeah.
And so, hey, we got this guy. Actually, Chris and I and Monica, we've been inside site selection visits where they're trying to convince our PIs that the study's good, and they start name dropping. We've got Dr. So-and-so at this place, and we don't know who that is because we're normal people, but the specialists know these guys, and they're like, whoa, that's big time. I need to do this study too.
Yeah. Well, I think the other way too is some of these PIs are very competitive. And more recently, as we're going through studies, as I'm talking to some of them, they're like, well, how many patients did such and so enroll?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, you guys want like, a stuffed teddy bear for like I'll buy you a stuffed teddy bear, enroll.
Boys will be boys.
Yeah. Like a pat on the head. Boy.
Yeah, we have that in very close to home in one of our sites. This PI, no amount of money is going to motivate him to recruit. Nothing's going to motivate him other than, hey, your arch nemesis is enrolled 7. You haven't enrolled any. Then we get action.
Or the sponsor has predicated the entire study results that lead authorship goes with high enroller. I see that a lot in oncology. The highest enrollers, the highest 4 enrollers on a study will get like lead authorship.
Wow. The rest get et al, right? Et al.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'd be so pissed. I'd be so pissed if I was that 5th person and I dedicate like my life to this field and I just get et al as my name.
Actually, one of the first medical monitors I worked with, and it was a Department of Defense anthrax vaccine study. And he actually, and it was unprecedented. He put I was the monitor for the study. So I got like 3rd authorship on the study on the report. And I was like, that never happens. Never.
What's new, guys? What else is going on? Monica, you've been wearing that shirt. It looks amazing. What's new on the CRC Academy front? What? I just told someone else the story of the generalist earlier on another phone call.
Yeah.
They said, "What a great testimony! We need to get that person on because nobody believes it. It's like too good to be true." This story.
Well, she's right now very busy, but she said that she will be doing the interview with us. So.
Hey, come on.
And I've been having so many phone calls. Today has been crazy with the CRC Academy, like really crazy. A lot of people calling me. So I think it's getting a lot of attention. We're getting a lot of attention.
Good. Chris, I finally started emailing. I'm doing 25 a day from clinicaltrials.gov studies for our virtual hybrid model to rescue studies.
Out of curiosity, what search criteria are you using to find these 25 people or 25 companies?
United States, phase 2 and 3, active, not recruiting, and recruiting. That's it. And then I'm skipping most of the cancer stuff because those are a little more complicated as far as logistics.
Right.
And I'm trying to skip, like, if I see academic institutions. So, like, I'm hitting, like, 25. I pass through more than I email. Let's put it that way.
I would assume
Huh?
I assume you're skipping Pfizer and the like. That type of
no, but
No?
not necessarily. Well, yeah, because they don't have a contact on there. So yes, by default I am, but I would be emailing them too.
Okay.
But like just to give you context, I'm on probably email 35. Like I have like 15 more today, and
Okay.
I'm on result 223 of clinicaltrials.gov. So I'm skipping a lot. But I'm seeing all the studies that are out there. There's a lot of interesting studies right now.
Yeah.
I saw the one on CBD that our friend in Michigan has.
Right.
That's it. I emailed them. So yeah, it's I'm being a little bit strategic because first of all, I have to find the contact. Second of all, the study needs to like sort of make sense. So I'm trying to avoid infusions.
Yeah, that CBD study would be perfect.
CBD, yeah, pills, suppository. I applied for a hemorrhoid suppository study. So those kind of things are easy. But infusion, stem cells, we're going to stay away from that. That's a little more complicated.
Right.
It's like when you're playing Mario Brothers, you don't go to level 8. You go, work your way through level 1. If anyone plays Mario.
Or you don't want to play the Grandmaster when you're just learning how to play chess.
There you go. Maybe a better analogy for our educated crowd. The Mario, very sophomoric.
Most people are familiar with Mario, though.
I would hope. I don't know why they don't have a Nintendo Land. I know why they don't have it now because nobody would go because coronavirus. But before, I think they would compete very well with Disney. I think Nintendo's missing the boat on their IP. I think Mario's just as famous as Mickey. And look at all the
that's
stuff
true.
Disney did. Nintendo's missing out on this stuff.
God.
Just going off on a tangent, guys.
A little
That's all right.
different though. Disney has done a great job of brainwashing all the youth. I don't think
Nintendo hasn't brainwashed youth? Are you kidding me?
Not to the same degree. Not to the same degree.
Nintendo raised me as a kid.
True, maybe, I suppose.
Mickey Mouse didn't raise me, but I watched like Jungle Book and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, Disney's done a much better job of branding, I think, than Nintendo.
And they've been around for much longer as well.
I don't know about much, but they've been around longer. I know Nintendo started as a trading card game, like in the 30s.
Disney's been around since the 30s, I think.
And
Yeah.
Nintendo too. But they started as a playing card, like playing cards. Yes, they started as a trading card game.
Well, see, I didn't know anything about Nintendo. Never even heard of it until what? Late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah. Look, let me pull it up. Maybe it's not
Like
30.
1985, because I think I bought the first Nintendo, which is sitting in my basement still.
Oh, you still have it. I wish
And
I had
I have
mine.
about 35 cartridges.
That's for like duck hunt and such, right?
Duck hunt, yep, got the gun.
Super Mario Brothers. That came out in '85. So I was thinking until like late '80s.
Check this out. Nintendo founded in 1889.
Wow. Okay.
So that shows you that branding will just make you irrelevant. You know, like they got lucky because video games became popular. But yeah, Nintendo had these characters for a while.
Yeah, I never heard of them until
Yeah,
Nintendo.
me too. I didn't even know that it was so old, like 1800s.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right. I don't know
I'm
how we started
impressed.
talking about that. How did we talk about this? I don't know. Quarantine has got to my head, guys.
You started with branding.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But we started talking about patient recruitment and about all these nonprofits and community-based clinics that are out there, and they don't even realize what they have. They're sitting on gold mines, and then you have all these people wanting to get into research, wanting to break in to be CRAs, and they're doctors from I don't know what country, and they come here and they want to be CRAs, and I get it, but then they're like, they don't want to actually solve any problems. They just want somebody to give them a start, which I understand, but that's really not how things work. You have to figure out how you fit into things, you know, because very few people are just going to do favors for you. I mean, that's like kind of like winning the lotto. You know, you have to provide a value, and figuring out where these community-based clinics are that are not doing research and educating them on research, you know, inevitably is going to make you valuable, because you know you don't need to be an expert. You just need to know more than who you're teaching to be successful.
Yeah, valid point.
Yeah. Well, we have a hospital here that's closing during all of this COVID crap because they can't fund themselves. And I'm half tempted to walk over and say, let's talk research.
Walk over virtually, though. You do, or wear like a spacesuit.
A PPE and yeah.
Yeah,
I'll go
places
over to
like
my
that.
husband's Star Trek uniform.
Places like that, the opportunities are there. You know, guys, you just need to learn the stuff and then educate. And you don't need to be an expert. You just, like I said, need to know more than they do, which you do if you're on this call or you're watching this video, and they're not. I mean, that's a start. You know, and then get a book, and then, you know, watch the other videos, and then maybe call Monica about CRC Academy. I mean, you can go on and on.
You know, speaking about opening up and, you know, getting ready for the influx. I don't know if you just got the news alert. So Trump has issued a statement to the governor saying that they're at their will in declining areas to start the process of trying to open up their states. And it'll be on a state by state, but they're going to start issuing, I think, either tonight or tomorrow, basic plans and itinerary for opening up and lifting these restrictions.
Yeah, California, the governor set like these 7. We will reopen upon these 7 things happening, which is like rocket science for those things to happen. You know, it's like, okay, these 7 things that need to happen are not going to happen anytime soon. So I could find the tweet, but it'll be interesting to see which states open up, what happens. We just need to look at Germany and Italy. I know in Taiwan, they're playing baseball again. You know, with no fans. They have stuffed animals in the stands, but they're playing baseball, and that's good. You know, that's a good sign, guys. Maybe we start playing baseball here next month with no fans.
Well, I thought that might be something that would be at least encouraging, is even if the Major League Baseball teams were allowed to play, just, you know, let them have the stadiums, you know, the hell with the crowd, but give somebody something to watch, because I know everybody was in the pits without having March Madness.
That's right. Yeah, March Madness really ruined me. We had our Site Owner Academy earlier today with the site owners, and one of the things, I mean, a continuation of what we discussed yesterday, was the fact that while this recession is bad, you know, and it's gonna be bad, it's not, at least for clinical research, it's not like 2008. And I know we discussed that yesterday, but people are getting hired in the middle of all this chaos. People who have been furloughed are being told, hey, as soon as we get these studies going, you're coming back. Or those same people are going to get hired somewhere else if the site is not fast enough to get them back. So we're just very lucky to be in this industry. I'm very thankful every day that I'm in this pandemic-proof industry. And I mean, can you imagine if you were a restaurant owner right now? And I guess their version of virtual trials is delivering to the homes. But for us, virtual trials is, hey, let's scan our documents so the CRA can review it, and let's find a way to see our patients to let them in the study. See, what happened in 2008 was that sponsors would call. They called the site. They called me. I picked up. They said, hey, Dan, take all the patients out. The study's over. All patients need to come to early termination visit. That's it. And I got that call every day for like the entire week until all of our studies closed. And at the same time, CRAs were getting laid off like in large volumes. 2020, we have not got that call. Matter of fact, we get emails now saying, hey, do what you got to do. Here's the FDA guidance on your SOPs. Just follow this. Do what you have to do to keep the patients and your staff safe, and let's keep the studies going. Okay? Maybe recruitment is put on pause, but let's not withdraw your patients. We're not ending the studies. So that's good. That's a very big difference. Plus, instead of people getting laid off, they're getting furloughed at worst or hired at best. Dr. B, who was on our Site Owner Academy, who I invited to this call but is not, don't know why. Neither is Andrew. Very disappointed in these site owners for not being on. But he is helping me with the mobile phlebotomist. So Chris, we're good with that, man.
Yes, we are. Good connection.
I think so, and I think we all have to learn how to play JiuJitsu. I don't even know if that's what it's called, playing it. I've never played, but using the leverage of the situation instead of fighting against it, which is a losing battle. You
going with it.
Fight with it and let it take you where it wants to go.
It's like you're not swimming against the against the
current.
Exactly.
Riptide?
You're just swimming with it.
Going with the flow.
Go with the flow.
Sparring, Dan. Sparring.
And thanks to Carlos for setting up my.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Guys, the quote says, the only way you or your company can find your way into a better situation is by playing jiu-jitsu against this lockdown and spending the time to increase your value to others.
Looks like you're wearing a... Sorry.
Yeah.
Looks like you're wearing a Broncos jersey or something.
No, that's my sponsor.
It's a jiu-jitsu uniform.
That's my sponsors.
Okay.
I've been doing the class that Marjorie suggested, the Faster Together Enhancing the Recruitment of Minorities. Highly recommended.
Can you say it? Which one? Which one is that?
It's called Faster Together Enhancing the Recruitment of Minorities for Clinical Trials.
Ooh.
It's in Coursera. I'm going to put the link.
Talk about another... talk about another niche, like a sub-niche of a niche. We talked about recruitment. Talk about minority recruitment, okay? Especially if you're a minority. Especially if you're a minority and you want to get in. That could be your way to get in. I know some CRAs were talking to me about starting a nonprofit because, it sounds like something they want to do. But then I told them, well, this is what you have to do. You have to go educate these people about research. And they said, no, there has to be a different way. I don't know what other way there is.
It's for me, the only way to get more people into research is through education. I mean, the best way. So this class is pretty good. It's given by a doctor and some other people in the industry, but highly recommend. I really like it.
Is he a
It
key
has a
opinion
lot.
leader? And does Sherry know him?
It's she, but one second, let me see.
We might have to shut this down.
Let me see. Class info.
Coursera,
So it's actually
Coursera is very good. Coursera,
It's
I'm very
actually,
Coursera.
it's actually 4 people, all in the industry. I'm not going to mention the names, but people are from the medicine Institute of Medicine and Public Health, from Health Equity, from Boston University School of Public Health, and from the Institute for Medicine and Public Health. So the people that given this class are very, knowledgeable about it, and the class is very interesting. It's quite good. Highly recommend it. I put it in the chat if anybody wants to go and take a look.
Thank you.
Right.
I like that one. Recruitment minority. Look at that. Look at this. This is the blueprint for anybody who wants to get in research. And even better if you're a minority yourself. This is, what better way to get yourself into research than to do this? This is a huge issue in the industry. Having minorities participate. How do we know if these drugs work for African Americans or Latin Americans if they don't join studies? We don't know.
Yeah, especially because a lot of people, we have tendency to develop certain conditions, and if the people that have this the majority of people that have tendency to develop that condition does not participate in the study, in the clinical trials, then the drug is not as effective for this group. So
Yeah.
very important.
Coursera has been excellent. I finished the class of breast cancer, and because I just started monitoring breast cancer like a year and a half ago, so I'm not that good at it. But I actually learned some things from there that I immediately applied to my virtual monitoring. Now I know how to read the progress notes much better. Before I had to stop and Google. Now, after this course, I Google less because I understand more. So this is how you guys level up. This is free. This is free.
If you want to get the certification, then you have to pay, but the amount is not that bad.
Yeah, it's like $40.
Yeah, I was actually looking last night for classes on clinical trials, and I came across with one that it was kind of funny because it's a guy teaching people how to become a professional patient for phase 1.
Oh God.
Yes. I was just guy. Like, what? Oh my gosh.
I know that guy. He has a website called Just Another Lab Rat.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. When I started my blog in 2010, he reached out to me and wanted to do like an interview. And I think I did interview him actually. But yeah, he's talking about how he gets in and how he teaches people how to get in and how to take niacin to get your other drug out, like flush it out. Like these guys are like chemists. It's unbelievable. They probably teach a course on Coursera on this stuff.
Oh my
God. He has a class. He has a class online. That's why I'm telling you. I was just like, it's like a 4-week kind of class teaching people how to become a professional patient for phase 1 studies.
So Dan, is your breast? Oh my God, that just makes my skin crawl. I just think about future generations. I know. Are you using Resist or iResist in your
Resist?
Breast?
Resist.
Okay. All right. So it's not a immunotherapy.
No, one of the studies is immunotherapy, but interestingly enough, they're not even using that in that study because the study started in 2016. I think that didn't ASCO revise their Resist in like 2015 or something like that?
Well, it depends on the therapy. So if you're using a standard of care, they defer to the RECIST. But if you're using an immunotherapy, there's something with called the pseudo progression that happens. And so that you're allowed to treat past the initial diagnosis of progression of disease, and then you rescan to 4 weeks out to see if it was real progression or the pseudo progression from the immunotherapy cellular breakdown.
Okay. Yeah, you know, the study Chris and I have with our CRO is actually immunotherapy for breast cancer, for ER positive, HER2 negative, and used in combination with other chemotherapies. Neoadjuvant.
Okay.
So yeah, I think there's something there. I mean, the doctor who is running the whole thing, he's like this mad scientist. Too bad we can't have him on. Matter of fact, let me text him the link. I mean, it's a shot in the dark, but what if he can actually come on? You know, this would be so cool. Yeah. So that's it. Chris, go ahead and finish that study that we're doing. What? Finish my thoughts. I don't know. I'm trying to find the link for this thing.
Finish your thoughts. I don't even know where you were going with it.
Immunotherapy. You know, I'm thinking of taking an immunotherapy class next on Coursera because I saw one. Immuno-oncology.
Hey everybody, just to get caught up, what topic are we on right now?
Well, we were on Nintendo and Mickey Mouse.
Oh man, I missed that. No.
I mean, we were.
I love Nintendo.
He's being quite honest.
I'm being honest. Isn't that true? I mean, that's what we're talking about.
It's true.
Yeah.
We were talking about that.
Awesome.
And we
Well,
all
I'm glad I
learned
missed
that
that conversation.
Nintendo. Yes, and we all learned that Nintendo is older than Mickey Mouse.
What?
Yes,
Yeah.
Wow.
1889.
Actually, oh yeah, you know what? That's true. My brother actually, I remember he had this really old, super old set. Maybe not really old, but he had an old set that, if you look at it now, doesn't even look like it would be anything game related. But yeah, I'm going to think about it. That makes sense.
Ashley, I just realized it's you, the one asking.
Oh,
this.
yeah, sorry.
How's it going? So speaking of personal branding, you're a personal branding expert, okay? I was arguing that Mickey Mouse, it's a shame because Mickey Mouse did such a much better job of branding than Mario. You know,
oh yeah, for sure.
that it's older. You know, Mickey Mouse is new, and Mickey Mouse looks a lot different now than he used to. And maybe going forward, he's going to be wearing a mask too, like at Disneyland.
Well, but you know why, right? Because Mickey Mouse Disney went as far as to make it kind of like family friendly and personable. You know, so Mario is just game. And it's just related to kids as opposed to them making it like a family thing and reaching it out to like a full-blown experience as opposed to like resort-wise and things like that. They branched out and made it relatable to everybody on all levels.
I mean, I love Disney too, but I'm just upset that Mario is nowhere near Mickey, and he could be because look at the cast of characters they have. I mean, it's just as many. You know, the IP is.
Well, but someone also say that Mario didn't sell out though. You know, it didn't. You know what I mean? Like overextend itself or like over how do you put it? Over brand as opposed to just making it the classic game. You know. So I guess it really just depends on what the image is and like the focus is.
I mean, it's a great discussion that we've had.
Yes.
But personal brand, we were talking about immuno-oncology also.
Oh, okay, nice.
But I'm trying to get this doctor to come on, Dr. Anthony Hoffman. Everybody go hit him up right now. He's like a mad scientist. When you see his LinkedIn profile, he's like Back to the Future guy.
Much more likely to get Dr. Al on probably.
Let me tell Dr. Al to come on. Hold on. This might go longer than we thought, guys. This might be a long.
He may not come on today, but tomorrow.
No, he could probably come today. If it's easy for him to click, I'll just tell him, join meetup. People are dying to meet you. Dying to meet you.
Is
What
it
do you want?
Anthony
Is he dying to meet?
Hoffman or Hoffman?
Anthony Hoffman. He's like a
Okay.
mad scientist. Like, I love that guy. He's amazing. And he's funny as hell, too. But he's the one in charge of our immuno-oncology. He gave us our first CRO project.
And he's stuck in Italy right now too. So
He's stuck in Italy, but he's always stuck in Italy. It just happens to be coronavirus time as well.
now it's against his will.
Hey, Italy's better than we are now. Like, he should feel bad for us. We're stuck here.
Yeah, he probably doesn't want to come back now.
Exactly. He should stay
But
there.
he lives in New York, so who'd want to go in there?
No, I don't even think he can fly there back right now.
That's a good point. I don't know if I know domestic flights are going, but yeah, I don't
The
know.
international are closed still.
Really?
It's what happened in China that they start opening borders, and then people that were stuck in different countries, I mean, Chinese people were coming back to the country, and then the contamination started again to spike numbers,
Oh,
so
wow.
they closed it again.
Wow.
Ashley, when we did our interview, share to the Guru Nation here. When we did our interview, okay, on branding, on how you use your LinkedIn to get all these job interviews, and then because of coronavirus, you're not officially hired, but are those CROs still following up with you?
Yeah, there still are. I actually sent out my updated email now with those the instructor position with your CRA Academy, and then my current position with the COVID response of Texas. I went ahead and revamped my resume and then sent it out, back out to the organizations. I said thank you so much, and that they found it really interesting that in a short period I was able to have those advances, and that just to please hold on and wait till all this follows through, so that they can have a more clear answer for me when it all, I guess, relaxes.
Beautiful. So how many people reached out to you after our interview on YouTube, which wasn't that long ago? We did it like 2
on
weeks
YouTube, or not so much on YouTube, but on LinkedIn, at least I would say 40. And I actually had 2 today already. And right now, when you said to go look for the doctor, I went back on, and somebody had just added me and sent me a message. So yeah, it's been constant.
Now, are you
I'm
monetizing this yet? Why are you not? If not, why?
I actually had. I'm not gonna lie. I really have been thinking about it now, because there's obviously so many other topics just within that niche that you can hit that a lot of people apparently need help with. I didn't realize that many people needed help. Like, I know that a lot are unemployed right now, but not so much because of the fact that they're not trying. It's just the situation, right? So, but one of the girls, I guess, that had just had lost her job, she saw the video and she reached out to me, and within 2 days she went and she fixed her resume. She went and fixed her LinkedIn. She did all the changes I told her to do, and she came back with the final, and she's like, please let me know and give me any feedback before you start charging for this, because this is gold. And I started laughing because
You're like an authority figure on this now.
I know.
That's
crazy,
so cool.
yeah.
Monica, you got to have Ashley teach guest lecture in the CRC Academy. She already did CRA Academy and absolutely killed it. It's on YouTube.
Actually, Dan,
yeah,
one of the parts that we discussed about, as far as the whole thing where I told you, I prefer having conversations with people as opposed to like immediately saying, oh, can you help me with this, or can you help me with that, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I've actually had students already add me, or people, I guess, that have obviously seen the video, because the minute that I see their LinkedIn, it looks very similar to what I said to do. And the first thing that they do when they reach out is they tell me, hi, my name is so-and-so, and I just want to let you know that I'm happy to reach out to you or to help you with anything I could help you with, and where you're looking for this job, and give you any feedback, because I have clinical research experience, and I just really appreciate all your information. So, see, you give you give information out, and then people just kind of reach out and are willing to help back. You know what I mean? And I just thought that was really interesting on how that response is happening now, because I mean, initially people were asking me for help, but now they're telling me that they want to help me, which is pretty awesome. So
yeah, and when are you gonna start making LinkedIn videos, or have you already? And if not, why?
yeah, no, I have not. I honestly, if I wasn't doing this COVID response right now, I probably would be making a lot of. I've already actually listed out a few things that I think would be very helpful to people. It's just that, one, I need to organize it. I would think, for me, the way I structure how I speak, but also sometimes I get off at 5:30 or at 6, and then I still have things to do afterwards, because it's I'm literally busy from morning to night with this, because it's very, very intense right now. So
yeah, I
it's
bet.
nonstop.
You get a
Yeah,
pass.
so
You get a pass. You're working
I
on
get a pass.
COVID-19. Anyone else, no pass. Okay, unless you're working on COVID. If you're working on a pandemic, then you get a pass. But no, seriously, LinkedIn videos, unbelievable how when you put a video natively on LinkedIn, the algorithms just favor that so much. You could be saying the same thing in an article, actually better. You can have this fancy article with charts and graphs and 1,000 resources for reference, or you can have a crappy video made with your phone, and that video, talking about the same thing, same title, is going to get way more views, 10 times more reach than that article. So it's something that LinkedIn is really pushing, because they learned what Facebook did. Facebook was doing this a couple years back. And so LinkedIn's doing the same thing, because they want people to stay on their platform. And people like watching videos more than reading, apparently. So that's what these social networking companies are doing. We got Dr. Al is going to join. He said he's going to join. He said, I downloaded the app and I'm going to join. But yeah, that's good to hear, Ashley. You really do know what you're talking about when it comes to building your LinkedIn and your CV. So I'm glad people are reaching out. I do think you could make easily, if you wanted a side gig, make a CV review business. Easily.
That's true. I didn't even think CV review. I was thinking more of a kind of video teaching description. But CV review sounds.
You do that, you'd charge more. This is
yeah.
And even fixing the linking pages. I mean, they charge a lot for that.
The what? I'm so sorry, I couldn't hear.
Just to fix the linking.
The LinkedIn pages, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I hadn't thought about that at all. I mean, I guess I have to put out some information that I'm willing to do that. So
get it. Play JiuJitsu against this pandemic. Dr. Al, you're on. Dr. Al is on.
You need to click on your microphone, Dr. Al.
Play JiuJitsu.
There you go.
Yeah, guys, how are you? I'm
so Dr. Al, thank you so much for coming on. The best oncologist that I know. I monitor his site. We have the immunotherapy. We were talking about immunotherapy, Dr. Al. And what are your thoughts on that study, as much as you can share?
I think it's very good, excellent study at this point. I'm seeing very good results with it in my patient as a neoadjuvant, in the neoadjuvant, and I think it have a big potential in the future. I have now almost about 6 or 7 patients on it, and only I had one progression of disease. The other 6 are responding well. The tumor disappeared. One already finished the 16-week of treatment, and she had surgery. I don't have the final pathology on her. When I have it, I'll forward it for you, Dan. And the other 5 patients are doing excellent on the treatment, well tolerated, no side effect, with excellent responses.
So Dr. Al, the progression of disease with this treatment is about 17%, I believe. That's correct. What's normal for current common treatment? Progression of disease.
I'm sorry, Chris. I didn't hear you. What's the question?
So you said that there's only been one case where the disease has progressed with this current immunotherapy treatment. What's common with other
I
existing
mean,
treatments?
you know, usually the response rate, it depends on the on kind of the tumor marker. Okay, so it depends on the patient. It's like 1 out of 7 is not the usual thing. Usually, response rate for immunotherapy it's about more than this, about 40, 50, 60%.
Wow.
For yeah. So I
So
don't
70%
know.
is very good.
I know, but till now we don't know exactly about malignancy. How does it work? Why this patient respond and this patient, the other patient does not respond? There is like to now trying to. Hello,
Yeah, we
Hello?
lost you for a moment.
hello. The molecular, the molecular component of the disease itself, and how does it? We know that patient who have PDL1 that they respond better than a patient who doesn't have PDL1 for certain treatments, but also in other type of treatment we do not have a lot of information.
Okay.
And Dr. Al, you are also a research site owner. You are looking to expand into other therapeutic areas. So, what have been some of the things you've been thinking about these last couple of weeks, ever since coronavirus started, or maybe even before coronavirus, like as far as expanding your business?
But as I told you, Dan, I'm looking to buy another site for research. Okay, so I'm still in negotiation with that. Most probably it's gonna go through. I'm trying to contact more physicians and different specialty to them or for my research site. Okay, I think I contacted another oncologist in around in the area that she agreed to be part of the sites that I have here in Hollywood. And also, I'm bringing new ophthalmology studies, as I told you also, Dan, in the
Yes.
when the last time we talked. And most
Sherry,
probably, yeah, most probably.
Sherry's on. She might get some ophthalmology studies for you.
Well, great, Shuri.
Yeah, well,
Hi.
we'll see. We're working on it. It's just some of these studies are coming from overseas, so like that's really got everything tied up right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have an and I have an excellent PI for the ophthalmology study. He have like about 15, 20 years experience. He have very good reputation and very good experience, and have a very well equipped office for the studies. And his patient base like more than about 10,000 patient in ophthalmology only study. So he's a very good PI also for that study. If you have any potential or candidate studies to run here in US, I am more than happy to run it by him, and we can start. And for sure, gonna be an excellent.
Right. Well, I have some communication with some Indian pharmaceutical companies, and one of the requirements for the FDA for approvals here is that you have to have brown as well as light colored iris patients in the study. So they have to come across to do them in the States.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this requirement, but I can check it by him and let him know
Well,
if
no.
he
I'm
have.
saying that's what they were told by the FDA. They can't run the whole study over there, get approval, and then try to bring it over here. They have to run it in both dark and light iris patients. So,
Uh,
they're not going to find any light iris patients in India proper.
I don't know what to say.
I guess it's true. That's good, Dr.
I,
Al. Did the clinic that you're in negotiations with now, did they agree to kind of what I suggested, more or less, or was it more of a
I actually, yeah, they agreed. And tomorrow I'm meeting with my business partner to finalize the whole thing and the number. And most probably within the next couple of weeks, we need your help to come over and check it out with us to optimize it and find out how we can do the best what we can do with that site.
I'll bring my mask and a bottle of Lysol.
You can
Oh, you
bring a
found
bottle of
Lysol?
vodka.
I bring vodka.
Yeah,
That will work
vodka will
better.
be the same thing.
That's good. I'll be happy to do that.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And thanks for
Yeah.
coming on and sharing, and anytime we're doing this every day, Dr. Al, with the same link. There's a lot of researchers on here, some days more than others, but we all talk every day for about an hour.
That's great.
Yeah, so you're
That's
welcome
great.
anytime. How's Claire? Claire doing good?
Claire is doing good. We doing the taxol study and it is going very good. I think we have so far about 4 patients on it. So we're waiting for your mentoring job there. Okay,
Yeah, 4
and
patients. Yep.
yep, and
And
so far it's doing good, and Hoffman study is doing good also.
yeah, you guys, we're getting close to actually getting paid for that study. So Chris and I will be in touch with you soon about that for the first payment. Thank God.
Yeah,
We see it. We're starting to see it. We don't see it in our accounts. It's kind of like the SBA loan. It's
Yeah.
there. It's there, but you can't yet have it. But it's there.
I think this is the problem with like investigator sponsored studies. Okay, it's there, but you can't reach it because for him it's the same thing. It's there, but he wants to reach it also to bring it from the
Exactly.
company.
Exactly. The drug company has it, but apparently they released it. So now we're just waiting on the USPS, and hopefully they don't go out of business.
Okay.
That's good. What else? Claire is a great coordinator. Anybody have questions for Dr. Al? Now's your chance, world famous oncologist.
Wow.
Such a nice thing.
Hey, that's I've seen you in action. Your patients are repeat patients. You really have a good bedside manner. You make a great principal investigator.
Thank you,
Claire
thank
is
you.
Claire is becoming a very good coordinator as well, and she's learning. We should have her on too, because this girl is came from a totally different. She came from general medicine, psychiatry, and now she's thrown into coordinating
Oncology, and she's doing
oncology.
great.
Yeah, she's doing amazing.
Well, all right, here's a good question because we brought this up and it was part of our conversation earlier. How do you feel about bringing in and getting research naive physicians involved in research?
It's not I don't do that. I bring them in, and because I'm gonna be like on the trial itself, so I observe everything and try to teach them to guide them through the trial. Because if I need to increase my recruitment, I need to get more physician, and even if there's a new physician naive research physician naive, I bring them and I try to guide them and I'm the ultimate responsible about the trial because I'm the PI and they are going to be sub investigators. But I try to teach them like this so they learn about this thing. They will not continue to be as the naive. And with time, I think they catch up and they will do very good. I have no problem with that.
Right.
I think we should create a class with Doctor with him to educate the rest of the PIs, naive, doctors.
Naive PI. We can call it the PI Academy, Research Naive PI Academy.
Exactly.
You want
Yeah,
to
we
teach
do
them,
that.
Dr. Al? You be the teacher?
Oh, I have no problem, Dan. You've been like very helpful for me. I'm more than happy to help you in any way I can.
Thank you.
I
That's
will be
actually
I
a
will
very
be
good idea.
helping too.
We'll do it. The three that you see on this screen will do it, and then we'll get research and APIs to pay for the course. I think they'll do it.
Yeah, if we
I,
have a doctor with so much experience and I mean obviously being so good, why not? It's like
no,
doctor to doctor call talk.
that would be great, Dan.
A great idea, Monica. Thank you. We're gonna have to get new T-shirts.
Yeah. See, doctor, can you see my teacher?
Wow.
This is for the CRC Academy.
I don't have one.
Yeah, sure.
You will
But
tomorrow.
Dan, don't send it pink, please.
I don't have one either. I don't have one either. But when
I
I meet
have
you,
pink. I
hopefully I'll
have pink and orange.
Yeah, if you're gonna get like guys and male, I think you should think about blue.
Yeah, it's just that we put it this color just because it matches the logo. This color and orange.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, so let me know when you need me to help you out with that deal and with setting up that site, because I actually think there's a lot of opportunities around Southern California, and especially now, Dr. Al. Now let's wait for the dust to settle, because I think more clinics are, like, I know a clinic that shut down, because they were over leveraged.
I
Uh,
think so. I
and so
agree with
they
you
get into a lot of
100%.
debt, right? They get into a lot of debt, and now they're shut down, or they're, about to shut down. So they would probably be acquired for like a very good deal, and I think you can plug them into your infrastructure and have that be successful.
If you know anyone who wants to be incorporated or be coming into my infrastructure in medicine in general, more than happy to look into it and let me know. Just Dan.
Has to be in Southern California, though, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, it doesn't matter. We can go extend our tour because I think we're getting also another clinic in Pomona oncology.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
And another
Good.
clinic in Pomona, and also we're trying to get one in Porterville, but we're checking on that.
Entrepreneur, not just a great PI, but entrepreneur.
I'm learning from you, Dan. You are the entrepreneur. When you
We're
gonna
doing a virtual
when you
trial.
gonna
We
teach
actually.
when you gonna teach me about crypto?
Oh my God! I mean, how much time do you have for that? You know what? I gotta
This
send you
is a
the link.
monster.
I gotta send you the link for that, for the Bitcoin. There's a lot to learn there, for sure. Absolutely.
That would be
Um,
great, Dan.
Anybody else?
So
Anything?
I put in the chat the class for is called it's from Udemy. I think that's the name.
Oh,
How
Udemy.
to so this is what it says. Have you ever wanted to do a clinical trial? Well, this is the course for you. We go all over topics. So this is 101 basics and tips on how to conquer a clinical trial easy. This and the class actually costs $11.99 to learn how to be a professional student. I mean, a professional um,
Patient or
patient.
yeah. Oh my
Wow,
God.
$12 to be a professional phase 1 healthy volunteer. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
We should take this class. I'm gonna take it just because I'm curious.
I put it in
Interesting.
the chat. So, yeah, it's super funny.
Interesting.
That's good. That's good. We'll check it out. But yes, the cryptocurrency I will send you, Dr. Al. Anyone else? You guys, you need to figure out how to solve problems if you want to get into the industry. Okay, because there's doctors out there. Dr. Al's seeing them. I'm seeing them. They have community-based clinics, but they don't do research because they're not educated on it. And if you know how to educate them on research, you don't have to be an expert. You teach them what that is. You tell them what a coordinator is. guess what? Now you probably have a position in research.
That's
And
what
so,
I'm telling you. Let's create a class.
yeah, well, we definitely will, but somebody else can do it too, just like one-on-one. I'm gonna go to the clinics, whenever it's safe to go out, go or network with them on LinkedIn and educate them virtually. Set up any meeting like this and say, "Hey, doctor, I'm gonna teach you about research, and then when this is over, I'm gonna come meet with you, and we're gonna talk. I'll be your study coordinator. This is what I've learned so far. This is what I understand. I can get you studies. All this stuff. Be a generalist. Learn how to be a generalist, not a specialist."
Exactly. That would be the best. Once you say the thing is like to reach out. I don't think all the doctors will be interested, but you'll get enough bunch of them that really interested, especially if there is any financial reward for them with this era of medicine and this very tight financial economy.
Yeah, I think right now is a great opportunity to do so. Just because I mean we got a lot of exposure with the COVID, with the research, and all the people know that before we get a treatment, we need to do clinical trials. So
Yeah. Yes, Monica, I agree with you 100%.
Excellent, guys. Well, everybody go back and learn something or just watch TV. Doesn't matter. But start thinking about these things, okay? Because the industry is here, hasn't gone anywhere, and it's in startup mode. So it's going to get so busy. Things are going to get so busy in the summertime. You need to be prepared, and you need to strike while the iron is hot with these opportunities. And branding, like Ashley said, branding. I mean, Ashley, we haven't even talked about branding for a PI. There's a whole market there.
I
These
actually,
PIs
I
want
actually, yeah,
studies.
I helped some. I told you I worked with some clinics and things like that. I actually helped a clinic that I was working with for like 3 or 4 years. Since I was president of an organization in the university, I actually helped them brand themselves within the community, the Hispanic community. So for like public events to bring on recruits for the clinical trials. So I've actually done that before, and yeah, it's kind of interesting that you bring it up.
Wow. Yeah,
Great.
I think
Great.
that's opportunity there for doctors that want to get more studies. They need to stand out on LinkedIn, and I think if you can coach them on how to do that, that would be fantastic.
I sign up.
Yeah, yeah. I might even incorporate that in my Patreon channel. Like, hey, doctors, you join the Patreon, $5 a month. I'm gonna teach you how to use LinkedIn to like go crazy with it, like to
Man,
start
what is
networking.
this? What is this? Like very cheap rates, man.
Yeah, I'll send you the link, Dr. Al. We get this.
Yeah, give me the link, man. For
Okay, you see,
branding, for
Ashley, that's how
LinkedIn.
you get this going. That's how you get this going. But
Yeah,
Ashley's
Yeah, we're
everything.
gonna
Ashley's
have a
doing
talk,
good.
Dan. We're gonna have a talk.
Yes, we will. Ashley's doing good working on coronavirus in Texas for the state infectious disease. So she's working overtime. But yes,
Wow.
you
Yeah, of
got this.
course. I
You
believe
got
that.
these.
With this thing, what's going on crazy now? I think she's working like double overtime for herself because of this corona thing.
Thank you.
So Dr. Al, when do you think we kind of go back to normal? When do you think?
I don't think gonna be soon, my friend. I
Hmm.
think at least like another 4 or 5 months. At least
Wow.
4 or 5. Yes, I don't think gonna be soon.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
that's a punch in the gut.
Mama, it's nothing. It's a basic thing. Here in California, we just peaked. We've been
Yeah.
like going through this for the last month, and we just peaked. Okay, when do you think the people are gonna feel safe about them? They're gonna take them about another 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I
Okay.
don't think that people are like thinking about how long it's going to take for the recovery after the actual infection and the peak of the infection. And then even after that, for those that have been around and that also have to quarantine, it's a domino effect. And I think everybody looks at it more as a present patient to patient, but they don't realize the effect one patient has on multiple people. and how the
Exactly.
timeline goes, you know.
Right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think the more the more we are in this situation, the more patient gonna pop up. We still did
Well,
not do
Yeah.
that. We didn't do the testing officially yet for all the patients,
Hmm.
all the
no.
people. So imagine when you
Exactly.
Right.
do, and we are like almost like 700, 600 cases already, and this
Right.
Hmm.
is only for selective testing. So imagine if we
People.
do the testing,
Yeah.
we're gonna go up more than 3 million
Everybody.
patients. Yeah, and
Yeah,
we
and
have.
like some doctors have been saying that, oh, you know, these are the numbers, and for me, I'm just like, no, there's people that actually aren't even allowed to get tested, even though they're showing signs, because they're not showing critical enough to utilize those resources
I know
on, which is
it's ridiculous.
horrible.
It's ridiculous.
Exactly, Ashley. And
Mhm.
now the virus has mutated. So now they're afraid of a redirection of reinfection with the mutation of the virus from what it was
Well,
originally.
actually, there's about 5 to 7 mutations, and each one
Right.
is representing depending on the region, right? And so that's why some people in some areas you find people recovering more, because I would think at that point the mutation is more relaxed and more susceptible to a variety of humans. But the COVID-19 is just the more stronger mutation. That's why I guess they're putting more emphasis on that one. But it's just, you know, the numbers are not accurate. Like what they're reporting is not what it is.
Of
And
course, 100.
you
I
know, like
No.
totally
for
agree.
instance, in Texas, they just I think this week, Monday or Tuesday, they just mandated masks. And
Mm-hmm.
my feeling with that is just that, one, that should have been from the get go, and two, you know, now that you're mandating masks, they were trying to talk already about slowly, you know, trickling us back into work, and they don't understand that they start confining people into these, especially in cities, in these buildings where,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you have maybe 20 to 30 people for a 4-stall restroom, you know, in one level, or a 5-stall restroom. I mean, that is a breeding ground, and people are just, you know, unless you literally have somebody there in that restroom washing and cleaning and wiping every area every time somebody comes out, I mean, you have possibility of reinfection to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
I
people
think
aren't thinking like this.
we didn't see yet the beginning of that. We know something about the disease now with this mutation. I don't think 5 months
Mhm.
is a very unreasonable number
Right.
because we don't
Yeah.
know what we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, oddly,
And
I sent my son in to go get checked because he's a very healthy kid, very athletic. He's 19, and he complained his chest hurt. And I said, "We're not messing, go." And they said, "You're not sick enough to test." And this was back in February, March.
mhm.
And now I have asked him to go and do the convalescent plasma donation because you know, they're seeing where a lot of people weren't tested because that was the rationale. You are not sick enough.
Mhm.
Well, there's people out there that were infected that had no symptomology.
Yes,
Exactly.
yeah, we don't know a
And
lot about the disease, and I think they're trying to hide a lot of numbers. They're not saying a lot of things. So
and I also think that people weren't also thinking about how when it initially you know, broke out in the US, we were not prepared. So a lot of the beginner tests that were released, not only did they take a while to get responses back up, the results back, but also there was a lot of error, margin of error in those tests because they were created so quick. They didn't go through
Yeah,
the proper, you know, testing time frame and all that stuff. So you actually had a lot of tests coming back as you know,
false
inconclusive
negatives,
and things
false
like
positive. Yeah,
that, and some were negative when the patients were positive. So there's also that margin of error of people that we have to assume that were negative that were actually positive. You know what I mean? So it's
exactly.
just it's there's just so much error in the whole process of how this happened that, you know, if we go back to normal, I think in less than 2 months that there is a most definite possibility to have a resurge of everything all over again. And this time it'd be worse because we'd have that much more people. I mean, think about it. We only had a few infections that came across that we were aware of, and look how far the infection has gone as opposed to now there's a whole slew of people that have it, and letting them out, it's going to literally just cascade, be like a huge catastrophe, because it's just too much room, for reinfection. So, and then we don't even know after, recovery, if patients can actually get reinfected. There was a recent information that just came out by the WHO that they don't know, that they actually have noticed that some patients that have came out of recovery aren't even holding the antibody. So there's a lot that is still definitely not known about this virus. And if people that got infected, that recovered, that don't have antibodies, if they can get reinfected and at that second point, actually die from it.
Yeah.
So there's just so much,
of the scar tissue.
And so, I mean, I think that I'd rather weather the storm of the economic crisis, which sounds ridiculous, right? Because, I mean, it's already really bad. But as opposed to having that along with a massive, just another huge drop of a bunch of people just dying and getting sick over again when we don't even have the resources on top of that. So, I mean, who knows where this is going to turn? I just think that to come back from it in the best way possible should not be at least 4 to 6 months, really. But, I mean, that, of course, is not up to me. But, yeah.
Well, on that note, guys, we need to play JiuJitsu and learn how to leverage and learn. Research clinics are open already. It's a matter of when patients start coming back in consistently to the clinic. And telehealth, it's an option. Virtual hybrid trials, like this is what me and Chris are doing. I know you, Dr. Al, you're still seeing patients every day, right? In your oncology clinic.
Especially for research and chemotherapy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so those, I mean, are the patients like worried about coming in, or what? Like, what are they telling you?
No, actually, I think they have to do what they need to do. They're worried, but we're calling them the day ahead, and we ask them to wear masks and wear gloves, and I reorganized my office to be also like distancing space between the patients that are waiting. I'm not letting the family to come in with the patient to the chemo or to the waiting area also.
Yeah, that's smart. And revise the SOPs for the research. We sent it to Claire because you guys are one of our clients, so we sent you guys the SOPs to revise. So that's very important too for sponsors.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, you heard it here, and I mean, I think parts of the economy are going to start opening up because they have to. But like for things to be back to normal, yes, I wouldn't expect that the rest of this year either. Maybe the fall, maybe, I don't know, but elements of normalcy will start coming back. So just
It's
go
going
day
to
by
be a
day.
new normal.
New normal.
Yeah.
Learn what you can. We have more interest in the CRA Academy. I mean, somebody calling right now to join the CRA Academy. So yeah, like CRC Academy too. CRC Academy as well. I mean, we're doing.
It's because you guys are adapting. You guys y'all got it. You're doing the virtual. That's those who are adapting. You're not gonna feel it. It's the companies that don't adapt, and you guys are gonna do great. I mean, y'all are already doing great. For sure.
Thank you. Everybody can do it too. It's just a matter of going with the flow. Don't be stubborn. But thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Al. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Dan, for bringing me in.
Absolutely. Let's get your LinkedIn profile going too. I'll message you about
100%. Let me know how to do it, how to start, and go from there.
All right, good.
Awesome.
Good.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much.
Adios.
Bye.
Be safe, guys.
Be safe.
You too, doctor.